If you are experiencing foundation issues, get a free estimate from Ox Foundations.
Continue on Daybreak Live this morning. Sylacauga Mayor Jim Heigl joins us for a few minutes. And Mayor, it was a cold night for a special event last night in the city, wasn't it?
It was, Jimmy Dale. I wasn't expecting this kind of weather until January or February. Golly, Pete, here it hit us last night right there at the tree lighting, and it was wonderful. Laura and the Chamber of Commerce did such a beautiful job of that. The tree was there. It's going to be there permanently. They had music, the bandstand. The Sylacauga Aggie soccer team was there. Got to talk to some of them and all. And Santa Claus, he does a beautiful job every year.
And we also got a few snow flurries, too.
We sure did. Some was artificial and some was real.
You know, we have our Christmas parade coming up Thursday, another special event.
We do, too. And you mind checking the weather on that? I think
Looks a lot
get
better.
our long johns out again.
Yeah,
but every Christmas parade I've been affiliated with, you know, it has been chilly those nights.
No doubt about it. Sylacauga Mayor Jim Heigl joins us this morning. And it is a busy time of the year coming out of Thanksgiving into December, the first day of December. And that means city council meeting and work session today.
Yeah, and 24 days before Christmas.
Yeah. On the agenda for the work session tonight, and first of all, people may not understand the difference in the work session and the actual council meeting. Describe that first of all.
Well, the agenda comes out. The agenda came out this past Friday, and it lays out everything that the council needs to vote on. They'll discuss it. They'll look at it. That's what you spend your first hour at 5 o'clock. They'll look at all the items, discuss it, and anybody there who needs to address the council on certain subjects, you know, like I think we got this lady coming in from ED&T Engineering. And we also have another gentleman coming in there and speaking to us about some other engineering with a drainage ditch issue we have. And then they'll take that and then they'll put it on then they have the other agenda. It's already what they will actually vote on. These items will be on that. They'll either go ahead and vote on them or take them off the agenda.
Mm-hmm. While I've got it in my mind, it'll slip away from me if I don't mention it now. If I've been asked this question one time, I've been asked this question 25 times. What's going on out there on 280 with the moving of the dirt out there?
Boy, I tell you, I was looking at the plan yesterday up there in the code department. That's what it said, grocery store. That's what it said, grocery store.
Well, hey, we'll go with that then.
Okay.
Now, and most people have heard and have been told that it's a Publix coming there. But is there other entities out there that's going to be coming as well?
The landscaping, what you're seeing now, is for one building.
Okay.
And that's what the print said.
But there's room for other...
oh, yes. You've got, I think, about 4 or 5 more out partials next to the highway.
Now,
there's plenty of room. And then you looking at Jack's, you look off to the right. You got all that area out there, about 17 acres, I think. Out there.
Whether it's whatever grocery store it may be, is there a date of when that might be up?
They haven't said.
Okay.
Just like the name, they haven't pronounced, made the name of the store yet, and nor have they set a date for an open house or groundbreaking or anything.
It could be Heigl and Abrams Grocery.
I doubt that. But if you think you can pull it off, I'll go along with it.
Have I got the support of the city?
It was a pleasure to be out there, you know, when we broke ground with Hutton to begin with, when we first broke the first shovel of dirt to get this project going, and look how far it's going.
So there's good things happening in our city.
Oh, yes, a lot of good things are happening. Sure.
Getting back to the work session now, a couple of things that jumped off the page to me. One is Coosa Valley Medical Center and the CEO going to be there tonight to talk about COVID-19.
He is. Glenn will be there tonight to give the council and the city an update on what's going on with the hospital.
Can you talk a little bit about, I know we got numbers yesterday, you got numbers as well. Where are we at with this now?
Well, like I said, it's still at a peak. Last I heard, the state as a whole, as a percentage-wise, it just dropped just a tad, but ours is still full. Our ICU is full, but not all those are COVID patients in ICU. They do have a COVID floor, and there's approximately 20 patients up there. That's those who tested, who have it, and those awaiting results.
And I know that you want to continue to encourage people to do the right things.
Oh, absolutely. You know, keeping your hands clean, your mask is very important, your distancing is very important. You look back, we were doing pretty good up until July the 4th. And July the 4th, everybody got together and it sort of jumped on us. And it subsided a little bit, and then we came up with Labor Day, and then that subsided. And then what happened? election, national election day. We had city elections, county elections, and the national elections, and we still got another election coming up in January. These peaks, it just looks like when too many people get together, and then you got an issue.
And you got Thanksgiving, you know, and a lot of people got
Thanksgiving
together for
there.
that too. And we'll know numbers on that as we work through this week into next week. Another item on the agenda, and this is a lot of talk in Sylacauga about the possibility of a new complex that will house many entities, including from the recreation center here in town. Talk about that a little bit.
Well, that's the truth. It's Brandy Robinson from ED&T Engineering. They've got the engineering on all of this, and she'll be here there tonight to update them on the complex itself.
That is something that many people are talking about. And it's not something to sneeze at because it costs a lot of money.
It's already cost a lot of money, engineering on this alone. Well, we got that, you know, you got the splash pad, the swimming pool issue. You know, we've got the 2018 and 19 TAP grants. We still haven't started in on that. All this is covered by ED&T Engineering. And we've spent a lot of money on engineering, but we haven't stepped forward, you know, getting some of these. We just finished up and signed off on the papers for the 2017 grant, which was the sidewalk area in front of the library and City Hall. And in front of the library, we got some issues. We're going to have to go back and fix those, you know. We got a lot going on in those areas. The council we need to step back and
How much money have we spent so far?
I'd be afraid to say, because I probably wouldn't be exactly right. I know basically what it was, but I'd rather not say it this time.
Right. Sylacauga Mayor Jim Heigl, our guest this morning here on Daybreak Live, and the police department and the fire department are so important to our city, and you know, we're trying to compete with others cities to keep our employees. How do we do that?
Well, the police department, you know, the chief feels like it's more that they're going for money. That may be true in some instances, but they have different reasons for moving on. We had one whose wife was working up in Birmingham, so he moved there. And it has to get good quality things, you have to put some good money into it. There's no doubt about that. But on the average of the state of Alabama, we are better on some and a little bit less than other cities. But on an average of cities of our population of 12, you know, we're basically just right there with the rest of them.
You mentioned the street department, and boy, our hats are off to them. What a job they've done in recent weeks, especially.
Reed Caffey, what his crews have done, they're working overtime. They're working. I told them they got that right to do that. We got to have it. And also ADM from the Talladega County, they came down and looked at us. And the funny thing about it, you know, we wanted them to see because we need some federal help with all this stuff. Reed Caffey carried them out there to where they were putting these trees. He took one look at that. He said, "I've seen all I need to see."
Wow.
I said, "That's it." He said, "You don't want to see the houses and the trees?" He said, "No, this is all I need to see. I'll see you in another 2 to 3 weeks, maybe 4. Well, we're going to get you some help." So that was good.
Well, you see this just alone, this huge tree on Main there. Golly,
well, there's 2 of them out there.
Yeah.
No, thank God nobody was killed. We had 2 elderly ladies that had to be removed from their homes, no help getting out, and we had an elderly man down on South 21 that had to get out. We didn't even know about him until he got his power up, and then he was able to call out.
Oh, goodness.
And the fire department went down there and got him out, but he was all right. He's about 90 years old, but nobody realized he was down there.
That's a great story, though.
But we're still getting trees and all that. People got a lot of trees in their backyards. They're bringing that out to the front, and we're having to get all that. They got the city divided into 4 sections: northeast, west, southeast, and southwest. And they work that Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, and Thursday, and then those who are working 12 hours a day, and then some are working on Fridays and Saturdays as well.
And, you know, that's overtime pay.
Well, it is. It's a cost item, but we're keeping up with it, and we hope to get some relief from this. Same thing with COVID, everything we do with COVID. We've got it all categorized and everything else so we can put in there and hope to get reimbursement for a lot of our costs.
Are you concerned, as a number of the leaders are in Alabama and in cities large and not so large, of another shutdown?
I hope they don't go that way. We just have to use common sense. Keep our distance, keep your hands clean, keep a mask, don't get into huge crowds. I mean, it's just common sense. We've always seen what huge crowds do. We know what the spaciness does. If you go into a place and you haven't got a mask on, I'd turn around and leave, you know. But we just can't get too complacent with this thing. It's serious. It is really serious, but we just got to use common sense. I don't want to hurt our restaurants and our retails. We can still keep them open, just got to watch out the amount of people that go in there. Every restaurant, and I've traveled different places around the city and Birmingham, Oxford, different places. And all the restaurants, you go in there, they're nice. You can't sit in this one, but you can sit in this one. They've got them spaced out already for you. That's what we need to do. It ain't going to do any good to go in there and shut these places down. It's ridiculous, in my opinion. Just use common sense. Yeah.
We talked about all the growth in our city, and there is quite a bit of growth, and happening in downtown Sylacauga too.
It is. Well, you see what's going on there with the old Stanton building and all that. It's growing, and we got stores opening up. And I don't think we got maybe just a couple more, you know. One of the insurance companies came together. They used one of the stores downtown. Commercial Development Authority is starting to grow. We got the good backing. Santa Claus is pushing for that one, and he's doing a great job of that. And getting these stores, the old Mac and Ted, what I used to call the Mac and Ted grocery store, pharmacy, when they had the fountain and all that.
It was a great day.
Yeah, it was. To come by there and get my cherry Coke in the afternoons after school. But that building's being utilized now, and things are happening.
City Council work session today at 5. The council meeting itself starts at 6. You've got the two new council members in there, and what do you expect in the next year or so?
I'm quite impressed with them. Like the last meeting there was 2 items that came up, and they weren't sure about it, and they didn't understand exactly what it was, and they just sustained. So you had a 3-2 vote. And I see they're going to ask questions. And that's what they're there for.
Yeah.
I mean, that's what your council, you're representing the people in your district and everything else. And that's what these councilmen are doing. They're not, well, they're asking questions. And that's what they need to be doing. They're going out, they're visiting all our departments, and which is good. I always encourage that. Visit our department heads, see what they do, understand what they do. A lot of them, these are liaisons to new departments. The 2 new ones are going to new departments there, and they're going and talking to their department heads and learning about what they are doing, what they need, and how they can support them. But one more thing I want to mention too, while I'm thinking about it, Larry Morrison at First Baptist Church and Mr. Ledbetter, they got the church open at First Baptist from 4 o'clock in the afternoons until 8 o'clock. So anybody who in the city who needs a place for shelter for these cold weather nights can go to First Baptist Church. They'll have to bring their own linen or any snacks or anything else. They do not provide the food, but they will provide them the shelter.
Yeah, and that's an important note because it's going to be colder tonight, projected colder tonight than it was overnight last night. We're at 26 right now in the city, so it's going to be very cold again tonight. So if you're watching and you know someone who needs housing during this cold weather, we steer them to First Baptist in Sylacauga.
We appreciate them so much. They've done it over the years, and they're still doing it today, you know, and we can't thank them enough for that.
No doubt about it. Sylacauga Mayor Jim Heigl joined us, and before we go this morning, it is a busy time of the year, and we saw that last night here in Sylacauga. And I believe, Mayor, that with the cold weather and COVID out there as well, it kind of reflected on our crowd last night. It was awfully cold there.
It was very, very cold. I couldn't recognize them until I got up close to them because they were so wrapped up, you know. But it was a beautiful evening, it really was. And like I said, the Chamber's done a beautiful job with this. I'm looking forward for years to come in that area.
What do you tell people about, you know, we're practicing social distancing.
Yeah.
We're preaching that. We're preaching about masking out in public, and we've got our Christmas parade coming up Thursday night. We want to have a good time, but we want to be careful too.
Very careful. I'm sure that, you know, we have a big crowd, just like Veterans Day, they have big crowds that always show up, you know, but you need to, families, you know, you're with them all the time. That's not an issue, but the strangers, you know, if your stranger there hasn't got a mask on, I'd move away from them, but to use some common sense, you know.
All right, Sylacauga Mayor Jim Heigl, our guest this morning. Work session today at 5, City Council meeting at 6. It is open to the public, and I think they still do.
Oh, yes. Everything, the council, anytime you got 3 councilmen or more, it's open to the public. It has to be.
And they give opportunity at the end of the council meeting for someone to speak. Is that correct?
Absolutely. If you want to address that council, you've got time at the end of the meeting. The president of the council will open the floor to you. It'll give you approximately 5 minutes, probably longer, depending on your subject. But you can address the council and express your opinion to that council. And people need to go to the council, talk to your councilmen. They're the ones that's really controlling a lot of our cities, our finances, and what's going on in this city.
And I've heard people say this. Well, it do me no good to talk to our councilman because their mind's made up on what they're going to do. The councilman, the council was elected by the people.
That's right. The people are the ones that need to rule. The council does not need to rule.
Yeah.
The people need to get there and express, and the council needs to listen to our people.
That's Sylacauga Mayor Jim Heigl, our guest this morning here on Daybreak Live. And one other thought before we go this morning, do appreciate you coming by on a busy Tuesday morning. The new budget for the city of Sylacauga. Talk about that before we go today.
Well, it's pretty good. It started off, we had quite a deficit. But as you start over the time, you eat away at it, things you need and which you don't. I mean, we wound up with a few $100,000, surplus, But that'll be gone in 9. But things may pop up during the year that we may have to make adjustments for that were not budgeted. This happens all the time. You have expenses that they'll pop up that you will not know. But then again, what really hurt us this time was insurance. The clerk's office, their budget had to be increased considerably, because of the increases in our insurance for the city. But budget is, you don't really have to have a budget, but the budget gives you some kind of guideline, tells you where you're at. One thing, under the Alabama State Constitution, I'm obligated to present the council with an update of our finances every 6 months. Thank goodness during this budget, one of the council people brought up the fact we need to look at it a little bit sooner. So now I've got a directive to the accounting department. We will do this every quarter. I've already sent the dates and everything else for them. The first one will come out, I think, in January the 5th. It'll be for October, November, December of this year. That's our first 3 months of the quarter of this year. So that'll be ready for them January the 5th. And then January, February, March, first meeting in April, the finances for that previous 3 months will be available to the council. And we'll get to keep a better track of what's going on.
All right. Sylacauga Mayor Jim Heigl, our guest this morning. Mayor, always a pleasure. And
well, thank you, Jim.
Happy holidays to you, sir.
Well, same to you. Merry Christmas to everyone. 24 days.
There you go.
It's coming close.
Santa
Keep
Claus.
warm. God bless.
Santa Claus is coming. More Daybreak right after this.